I don't have a real top rope set up, but this is going to give you kind of an idea. My rope is going to be at the bottom, and if that was my top rope, one, there'd be another anchor. There is the anchor. That's where the top rope would be set. But here's our point today. And on the cliff side, the climber. So there's my climber today. He's got his helmet on. He's double backed. Okay. And he has his trace 8 knot with 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 sets of parallel lines, with my backup knot being an X equals. So my climber is good to go. Now it's time for me to get hooked up. Okay, the first setup I'm going to do is with a screw gate carabiner and an ATC. Kind of an old school method actually. But all of my connections from metal are going to go on my belay loop. If you remember my figure 8 knot, my rope went in through this point and this point. So any rope, any nylon is going to go between those 2 points. If I was the climber attached in, my figure 8 would be in through those 2 points. Any metal though is going to be on my belay loop. Okay, so I'm going to attach my carabiner. We connect it, and with a screw gate carabiner, that does stay open until I lock it myself. So then I'm going to go ahead and take my rope, and I'm going to make a bite in the rope. A bite or bend in the rope. With that bite or bend, I'm going to face it to myself and put it in the right side of the ATC because I am right-handed. And then when I have my rope in, I'm going to connect it into my screw gate carabiner. This is not safe yet because this still opens up. I need to screw down so I don't screw up. At school we are ABBY certified, so this setup would not do. I would need 2 of these carabiners. But for the rock climbing world, this is a correct setup. I have 3 points of contact on my carabiner. I have my harness, my rope, and my belay device. I do a squeeze check to make sure, and when I look at my belay device here, you'll notice that I do match the picture, and my brake hand is going down. From here, the motion, the biggest thing while belaying is once your belay is on, once I communicate to my partner that I am ready to protect them, I never let my brake hand leave the rope. So I am dominant. My dominant hand is my right hand. I'm going to keep my right hand on the rope at all times. My left hand will be a guide. I will pull the rope in as I pull the rope out, down, reach underneath my other hand, and slide that hand up. That way this hand never leaves. Okay, so the motion is pull, lock, reach underneath, slide up. Pull, lock, reach underneath, slide up. Pull, lock, reach underneath, slide up. I'm never going to let my dominant hand leave the rope. I have a good stance in which I'm ready to catch a fall, and I'm not going to get pulled into the wall because I'm not too far away. The motion is pull, lock, reach underneath, slide up. Pull, lock, reach underneath, slide up. Pull, lock, reach underneath, slide up. In order to lower my climber, I have both my hands in the brake position. Same thing if they do a fall or a take. Both my hands are in the brake position, and I'm going to guide the rope into my other hand, slowly letting my climber go down. I do not just let go of the rope. It will burn my hands and my climber will come all the way down. So you can guide the rope in, or if there's enough friction, you can slowly let them come down. The other piece I'm going to show you today is a gree-gree with a triple action carabiner. So with a gree-gree, we're going to open this up, and I load this on the belayer's side of the rope. All right, my climber is still on my climber's end, facing the side that's closer to the cliff, my climbing end. On the belay side, I load this with my rope that goes down as my brake hand, And there's even a picture for this rope. That's your climber. That's your climber going up. Okay, so with this open, you can kind of see how it works. If the climber was to fall, this is going to get pulled, which then activates that cam, and it pinches down or locks down on the rope over there. It's a great safety thing that was invented, the gree-gree. This is a triple action carabiner. In order to open it, 3 actions are needed. You need to slide it up, turn it, and push it to open it. And then it automatically closes and locks, which is another great safety thing that was invented. So again, triple action, I'm going to slide, turn, and push it open. I'll connect onto my belay loop, and I am good to go. How I know this setup is good, I somewhat have 3 things touching my carabiner, okay? 3 points of contact. My harness, my belay device, and inside my belay device is my rope. Now how I do a safety check on this to make sure this is working right is I'm going to do a pull test, and that's going to make sure that the cam is working. This would act as if it was the climber. So I pull, as you notice I'm pulling very hard, and I cannot get it through. This does work like a seatbelt though. If you pull it slowly, it will come through just like a seatbelt, but just like a seatbelt, in an emergency, when it's not going slowly, but when it goes quickly, it locks in place. The motion for the gree-gree is the exact same. Pull, lock, reach underneath, slide up. Pull, lock, reach underneath, slide up. Now, to let my climber down with the gree-gree, you'll notice that when weight is put on this cam is activated, and I need to open that up or deactivate that cam. So there's this handle right here that I'm going to pull open in order to lower my climber. I'm going to put the rope over the smooth part. Never want my rope on a sharp part. I'm going to open up that cam and let my climber down. Bouldering is climbing without a rope, without a harness. A lot of times you'll have a chalk bag on you, and there will be crash pads or something underneath you. A lot of times there are spotters to protect you, but there's nothing protecting you from fall as far as a rope being above you, a rope being connected to you. It's going to be a lot more natural. You're going to have to control your fall, and it's kind of the biggest moves in climbing. So I'll attempt to do some bouldering on this route for you guys. In climbing, you want to start with straight arms. You want to climb with straight arms as much as possible, and you really want to work to have your feet in a good position to make it so your arms don't have to work as hard. Stay in close to the wall. That makes it easier. Climbing is simply balancing on a rock in different spots. Climbing is not about how many pull-ups you can do. Climbing is about being able to move your body with as little amount of energy spent so you can get up the entire climb. If you remember from our climbing hold video, this is a lot of crimp holds. This is a crimp hold. I have an open crimp on it right now. Okay, if I needed to, I could full crimp it, but this is an open crimp. This is a lot of crimping. This is a great jug that I'm on right now. A jug is something that I might rest on. I have a good foot stance here too. If I want to rest my left arm, I'll hang out on a jug, maybe shake out my arms and then try to get the blood flow back in them. And then I will switch hands, extend my left arm, and now I can shake out my right arm and rest. I can do this a few times to make sure I'm all rested before I continue the climb. I bring my hands in close when I'm just testing something, and then I'm going to extend my arm so that all that is being put on my skeleton. When the weight's being put on my skeleton rather than my muscles, I can hold this position for a lot longer. Once I bend my arms, I'm now using my bicep to keep that bent in. I'm using my forearm a lot more. Okay, extend, to rest from there. I also make sure to have good footholds the whole time. So a stereotype in climbing is people think that climbers just can do a huge amount of pull-ups and that's what makes them strong. That's what makes them good climbers. Now, good climbers can generally do a lot of pull-ups. They generally have great grip strength, but great climbers have great footwork. Climbing is all in the footwork. In fact, if we're gonna make a stereotype, the stereotype is that female climbers are better to begin with because they know how to climb with their feet rather than just trying to do pull-ups all the way up the cliff. Footwork is how you become a better climber, not pull-ups. Though pull-ups will help you too. Footwork is key if you would like to become a good rock climber. A good thing to use as a guide in climbing is 3 points of contact. If you notice, I'm only moving one arm or leg at a time. That keeps me nice and balanced so I can reach with that other hand, or if my hands are on, I can reach with my other foot, keeping myself balanced and safe. If you really look at your footholds when you're climbing, rather than just kind of placing your feet, you're gonna trust them more, you're gonna have them placed better to begin with, and then your climbing's gonna get better. Here's a pinch hold. I hate pinch holds. Okay, your assignment. I want you to show me some climbing technique. I want you to this can be on the floor. You can be laying on the floor doing this, but I want you showing me climbing technique, how you're going to reach with a straight arm, and then show me some kind of hold that you are doing. If you are able to, and if your parents are okay with you climbing a tree or something like that, that'd be great. But do not go climb something that you shouldn't be. Don't go on somebody else's property. Be safe, be smart, but I would like to see some climbing on your own, or some technique in climbing. You can also talk to me about what we talked about in these videos, some belay technique, or anything to do with the world of rock climbing.